once again, what's going on YouTube? Back once again to give a little bit of the reaction from these fabulous NBA playoff games tonight. I was like, at least particularly one. These playoffs have been fun, exciting, but also very, very weird in a way of almost dialing back the hands of time. We've had Jimmy Butler go for a crazy amount of points. We've had LeBron James basically put on his back for a couple of these Laker games. We had Stephen Curry also putting up ridiculous numbers lately. Um, but today I was like, and just thinking of like the people who've been in the league quite a long time that maybe was, I mean, they're still superstar, but some of them ain't as what we once were, and that goes to Mr. James Harden tonight, the beard, as they say. Uh, Boy, oh boy, did he. He didn't fully go. I was like, I seen some people immediately just saying like, oh, Mike, he like he was cooking, but he wasn't fully Harden from Houston. No, but if there was ever a light version, before you get to like the 0 calorie version where they do diet first and then they go to zero, he was the diet version, because he was put on a bit of a show of, like yes, of course he could still do it of, the dribble between the legs, step back, jump shot, but you could tell that there was an aggressiveness to it where, since there was no Embiid, I would have thought that with that news of no Embiid, it had been the same. Had a lot of these other games in the playoffs that the star player's not there, you're going to lose. And it did sort of look that way for a minute, because I want to say around the second, a little toward the end of the first and the second, then towards the second, the Celtics just started to piece together some runs. Tatum was really on one today. He was a lot more in his bag. Had a little dribble, pull up three. But he was also going to the basket a lot more too. And I was like, that's always a dangerous Tatum when he realizes he goes to the basket as well. Brown, I was like Brown, like the whole collection of the group of like Brown, Smart, Brogdon, who at this rate, Brogdon is like so much of like Mr. Consistent. He also made me think a little bit of Andre Miller that used to be on the Nuggets. Just that steady and pace point guard. He like you always look at the box score and it's like, dang, he did have 15, 20 points and some assists. But you really just think about how he just played with the pace of the game. Except for Brogdon, of course, shoot three, where Miller didn't, but different era. But no, I was like Brown chipped in as at the secondary dude, but you had him get matched on the other end by Maxey, who and I feel like he really came on in the third quarter. I feel like that was like his quarter to get going, and sort of once that sort of went down, then it sort of opened up. I was like Tobias. I was like, you always desire more from him, but at this point, he makes the point that he makes. I thought they always had a chance to get the Celtics, because I was like, because of except for Embiid, they line up really match the Celtics, so that like like all the switches and stuff like that can happen with no problem, because everybody is pretty much. I was like Maxey's short, but then you got Smart that's short, and then when White and Brogdon come in, so that's not really that too much of a big deal. Then everybody else is like 6'5" and over, and so it was basically the Celtics. So I always thought that was going to sort of be a wash. It was always just like, who's going to be able to come up with points, and if Tatum had like close damn near 40, I think Brown had like 20 something. So you really did have to have Harden have one of these type of games, because he was scoring, but he also dictated a lot with pace as well too, of finding people, and also just like letting Maxey and Tobias just like take their shots. And then he's like, okay, I got this. Nope, I see my matchup. I'm taking it. Nope, they can't do nothing with me. But not only did he have 45, but for him to hit the dagger at the end of it, cold blooded. Um, it I was like, how the Celtics had the most like people to raise up and knock down a three in their face towards the end of the game. I mean, I'm just him, Trae Young now. Uh, anyway, I was like, I feel like it's sort of a little low key disrespectful, but yeah, no, Harden put on a performance that I was like, if Embiid is going to be out, he's going to have to do this. He's going to have to do this in order for them to have any type of a shot. But Maxey's also going to have to play. It can, I was like, I was like, if you could get Embiid, Harden, and you get Maxey, I was like, they can hold on or beat the Celtics, because I was like, you can pretty much tack for tack everybody else. But if this is how it's going to be, and Embiid going to be hurt, they're going to need superstar Harden and Paul. I mean, not Paul. Jeez. Max is going to have to play a top-notch scoring role. So shout out to Harden for his role. I mean, for stepping up and going back in time today. Secondary game. Suns and Nuggets. Boy, if there was a game that the Suns needed to get, was this one. Not just because, not just so you wouldn't be down 2-0, but just because, like, Jokic, I was like, I thought a mixture of Ayton and, I mean, not necessarily Biyombo, but I was like, I would have thought that you wouldn't have stopped Jokic, but I thought you can at least like match somewhat of the points. Like, I would have, like, how Jokic was sort of playing in the last series. He didn't really go off scoring. He had his moments here and there, but it was a lot more, pass the ball. But I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, if Aiden can get like 21 to like Jokic like 34, but then I was like, you got Booker over here, you got KD, and then chrispaul give you a little something. I'm like, they could match up with him. But boy, Jokic is just tearing Aiden up. Like, they try to come out the gate and they try to have like Aiden use all that speed, and I was like, and he was holding firm, but he couldn't stop Jokic. Jokic was just busting through him, and then when he realized he can't go past him, he would just up and under. He would just keep doing the same move for a while. That it was kind of like, I was like, somebody need to go help this boy over here, but you can't really help because you got everybody else except for tonight. Murray didn't have anything close to the game he'd been having. Porter wasn't anywhere to be found. I was like, yeah, I guess maybe it was a better collection from everybody, Bruce Brown and like Gordon and KCP and stuff. Like, I guess they picked up the slack. But Booker Booker pretty much came alive in the third quarter. I mean, it was like second to third quarter, and started like matching toe for toe. I'm like, all right, cool. You got Book over here scoring, you got Jokic over here scoring. All right, cool. Let's go to the next tier. KD, like, there was really nobody else. And I was like, I was like, at this rate, you got to find something. I was like, Terrence Ross, Darius Baisley, like, you're going to have to throw in somebody else just to throw the Nuggets off or something. See if you get scoring from somewhere else. Now, looks like Chris Paul going to be out. I thought it might have been something with his arm, but once they said he was grabbing at his leg, groin area, I was like, oh, nope, that dude done. And it seemed like he was also starting to get a little bit of a rhythm that I think would at least like help. Just like, in campaign, I was like, he had to have been playing enough that I think they really get a rhythm. We'll see how that goes. Also, towards the end of the game, when I was like, I feel like they still had a chance. It was still like 7 minutes to go. They started missing shots, but then the Nuggets wasn't making any shots. So cool, it was just like, it's like, okay, cool, can somebody just get on the roll? And it wasn't until like the Nuggets hit like 4 baskets in a row that KD at like 4 minutes left, like, seemed like assertive and actually went to the basket and got a jump shot and like went like like got through somebody to get it. And I just don't know why it took him so long. I was like, cause they're doing everything to swarm Booker, KCP, Bruce Brown. Which I thought Bruce Brown was doing a lot of crying for. I'm like, you ain't that dude. I feel like to be crying out here, I felt like Aiden got some bad fouls. Not just necessarily like him making bad fouls, but I felt like some of those were like ticky tack that I felt like you give me Jokic the call on that one. But they were swarming Booker, the way you even seen Booker getting frustrated, and KD was just he had over 20 points, but you just never felt him scoring. You never felt him taking over. You didn't feel him aggressive and taking it. And I feel like that's also been a big problem with Phoenix, is that when you don't have the rest of the people behind you, your KD's going to have to be superstar KD. And Booker's been holding up his deal or whatever, because he at least going to take them shots, hit or miss. He going to take the shot, so he going to get a point. But KD just, I was like, he just got to be more. He just got to be more assertive. But yeah, if Porter and Murray's not going to score, this is a game you need to win. I was like, Jokic played pretty good, and I was like dictating the pace, but he also was going inside. He was hitting the jump shots. He was doing his thing, but I was just like, nah, this is one of the Phoenix. Y'all just let slip right through, and y'all just let one go away. And so far, and right now, I was like, this is like it might be a gentleman's sweep, and that's not something I would have said. Where I'm like, damn, I was like, the Clippers would have put up probably a harder game against them at this rate. At least that would have been a little bit more exciting, where you're like, oh, I get it. But anyway, that's it for me today. If you liked anything I said here, I appreciate it. Thanks. If not, hey, maybe next time. Or other videos. But until then, peace. I'm out.